Hello, everyone. My name is Gray, your one and only corrupted angel, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about quitting. Not quitting YouTube, not quitting Twitch. I'm talking about quitting a job, specifically something that you have to actually put in a resignation form. Now, I hate quitting with a passion. I hate quitting with a passion so much. It is like the worst possible thing you can sort of go through voluntarily at a workplace. You know what I mean? Like when you quit, you have to put in your little bit of notice. You'll write up a letter and you'll grab it and you'll take it into work and you'll say, hey, I'm leaving. I wish you all the best. Thank you for the opportunity. Goodbye. And you hand in your notice. They take it, and depending on how long you've worked there, if you've worked there for over a year, it's like 2 weeks. If you've worked there for 3 years, it's 3 weeks, something like that. And then 5 years, it's 4 weeks. But whatever the case is, you've got like a period of time between when you say that you're leaving and when you actually dip, right? Unless you're like me and one of my old jobs where I took my 2 weeks of notice, handed them it, and then uh, the very next day had some surgery and just recovered, quote unquote, for 2 weeks. So that way I never had to come back. And they still had to pay me. But a lot of the time, you usually put in your 2 weeks and you have to kind of be there. And being there is just the worst a lot of the time. Because unless you have been, I don't know, discussing it and sort of being like, hey, just FYI, a couple months from now, I'm going to quit. Don't worry. Like, I'll put in my 2 weeks. It'll be all good. Just so you know, though, couple months from now, I'm going to quit. And you, like, give them a heads up and they have plenty of time and they sort it all out. But unless you do that and if you just come up to them and you say, hey, here's my notice, I'm leaving in 2 weeks, bye, and don't give a shit about them, they get so upset. The company gets so upset at you and makes a lot of the time your last 2 weeks hell. And that's what always is like my least favorite part about quitting any job ever. Because when you quit, they know you're quitting and they know that you just don't care anymore. And you're just counting down the days before you have to not be there. And there are so many times where they will treat you like garbage. Like if you're like promoted into doing some random job and then you quit like a couple of years later or whatever, you've been in that position for a little while, they won't let you keep doing that job until the day that you quit. They'll instead like demote you and start making you do all the garbage stuff, or they'll like sit there and basically ignore your very existence, give you the cold shoulder, and treat you like you're a cheater and they're your scorned lover. Like it's really weird how bad some places get when it comes to you just letting them know that you're not there anymore and that you're gonna leave. There are so many times where they will just hate you with a passion and then sit there and make your last 2 weeks the most miserable time. And not only is that a problem because you have to sit there and take it for 2 weeks, but also not only do you have to sit there and take it for 2 weeks, meaning that you're like having a miserable time for your last 2 weeks, but in your brain, you're also probably counting down the days, like I mentioned before, and the closer you get, the slower it feels like it's going. You're like, oh, it's 5 days away now. It's only one more week left. And it just feels like the slowest week ever because you're suffering so much from them basically like hate demoting you or giving you all the crappy jobs, really making you work hard for your leaving period. And it's just brutal sometimes. Not to mention when they do get bitter like that, if they do get bitter and it's not quite as amicable of a departing, you end up in a situation as well where if you're going for another job, you most likely don't have anyone that you can sit there and use as a reference from the job you're quitting, because how could you trust someone that clearly is very upset with the fact that you're leaving? Like, what happens if they just sabotage your next career pathway because you use a reference and then that reference is like, no, this guy's a jerk, he's terrible at his job and you shouldn't hire him, all because you left their job with 2 weeks notice, which is completely a thing you can do and you are allowed to do because that is the law, and they will like, and it's in their contract and stuff, and it's like a legally binding document, but they don't care because to them you shouldn't have done that and you should have only left when they wanted you to leave or when they said it was okay to leave. And it's just crazy to me. I don't know if anyone else experiences that or anyone else has experienced that when quitting, but I would love to know because I swear there's got to be some horror stories. I've had plenty of times where I've had some pretty miserable ones. Like the most recent job that I quit with my day job recently, my boss that used to talk to me all the time and used to interact with me perfectly fine literally cold shouldered me for 5 days straight and just didn't say a word to me while I was leaving. Did not say a word, didn't even say goodbye, didn't say pleasure working with you, nothing. He just straight up ignored my very existence. I ceased to exist. I was only communicated with in a group setting when the team was being addressed. That is it. It is rough, dude. It is so rough when you get situations like that. But I would love to hear if you guys have any stories out there that are equally as interesting about quitting and what you had as a treatment when you were quitting. Because honestly, it can't just be me that gets this. It cannot just be me. It happens too frequently. It's too common. There is no way in hell that I am the only one that does it, that has suffered from that. Nevertheless, please do, if you like the video, let me know, leave a like. If you dislike it, so be it, dislike it too. I'm happy with that. Subscribe for more. I'll give you a crisp high five when you do. Come by the Twitch channel as well. Let me know that you were from YouTube and give us a yell, give us a buzz, say hello. And I'm sure we can have a fantastic conversation about your horror story. If you want to see that discussion live, by all means, come by the Twitch. I stream absolutely every single day. I hope you all had a fantastic time over the last couple of weeks. I know I have been uploading pretty consistently outside of last week, so just don't worry. The weeks are going to be starting to be more and more consistent with videos as we go along. I appreciate all of the patience. Much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.